What up, Zai?
What's up, B?
What are we talking about today?
So today we're gonna talk about right-hand drive, left-hand drive, and center drive. It made so much tire smoke.
So you have driven all types of vehicles and you've been able to drive left-hand drive, right-hand drive, and center drive.
Yes.
What's your favorite and why?
I still prefer right-hand drive, just because I grew up with it. That's the position that I learned how to drive. But honestly, I can drive everything kind of equally. And it's just a tiny bit. I feel like my muscle memory prefer right-hand drive.
Is that why you did the conversion on your comp car?
Yes. Yeah, I did the right-hand drive conversion from US BRZ. But it's not a necessary thing, I don't think. Like I say, it's more like a tiny bit difference, and it's mostly my mental. Because I was able to win a championship with left-hand drive, which means I was able to drive my best out of it, right? But like I say, I've been grew up with the right-hand drive, and still sometimes like I don't think about anything, and I usually use left hand to pull the e-brake.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I just decided to do and then see what I can do with it. But obviously, result didn't really change anything, so I guess it didn't matter.
So knowing that, how different is it to like sit in the center of a car?
Going back, the center drive car I have driven is the Spoon Civic. So Civic is not a big car, so maybe that's the reason, but it took me only like a few laps to get used to it. And after that, I felt really comfortable with it. I think the downside was you're not sitting neither side, so you can't really go on the edge. I mean, you can, but not like this much,
God, it's like clip berms and stuff like on a track?
Right.
Okay.
I feel like I could have a little bit more closer here and there. Maybe that's one downside, but I'm pretty sure that's something you can get used to over time too.
Why did they choose to go with the center drive on that Civic?
So the reason why Spoon did the center drive was to get the weight balance. Well, that was the reason, but I think mainly for the hype, because nobody really done before. So people think it's what the hell, right? Because to be honest, weight-wise, of course, the weight distribution matters, but doing that, I don't think it makes that much difference, the performance-wise.
When it comes to center drive, it seems like that'd be great for grip driving,
Yeah.
being in the middle. Do you think you could drift sitting in the center of the car?
I think that's a good question. I never thought about it, but I'm pretty sure you can do it. I don't know if it's an advantage or not. In FD, some guys use left-hand drive, I use right-hand drive, and depending on a track, on a layout, like this section is good for right-hand drive, this section is good for left-hand drive. There's a give and take, left-hand drive and right-hand drive, but center drive, I don't see any advantage. I feel like you might want to be in one of the side to kind of gauge. So if you're in the right-hand side, you can kind of guess where the left side of the car is, because right side of the edge is right here. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But in the center, it's hard to see like this much close, and then drifting, like you really like the car placement is like really important.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not saying it's impossible. Like you see like F1 drivers, they're center drive and they're like go all the way to the sometimes like at the street course, they go super tight to the wall, stuff like that. So yeah, it's of course you can do it, but I feel like if you sit in the either right or left, might be easier to get closer on the edge. I don't know if that makes sense.
No, totally. I've always, I guess just layout wise, most of the high-end race cars, it's all center seated, correct?
Yeah, that's true. I would like to ask more like a professional drivers and stuff.
But I mean,
what do they think?
No, totally. I mean, yeah. But you were able to drive center drive in that Civic. How different was that? You know what I mean? Like,
It was really easy to adapt. And also the kind of cool part about that build was you can change the shift position, left or right.
wow.
So if you're used to right-hand drive, you can put the shifter on the right side.
Wow.
Or I'm sorry, the opposite side. But of course, I did the shifter on the left side, so it's like a right-hand drive position. But actual your view is in the center. So like operating thing is like super easy to adapt. The view thing, I thought it was kind of weird for like a first lap, but after a couple of laps, you get used to it. It's like like you drove on a go-kart, right?
Yeah, true.
It's just a bigger version, so.
I never really thought about that. Yeah, you do sit in the center of a go-kart.
Right.
Yeah, and I've been able to drive left-hand drive, right-hand drive. It didn't really affect me too much, except for driving on the streets. It was kind of weird, you know?
Oh, okay.
Being on like
That's
the opposite
right.
side. And I tried to drive in Japan and I just suck at it. It scares me. How long were you driving before you started, or you were able to drive a left-hand drive car in Japan?
So the first time I drove the left-hand drive car was in Japan.
Yeah.
So at that time, I've never driven the left-hand drive car in the States. So I only know the Japanese road, which is left lane. So it was just easy. It just changed, right? But now, or after I start driving left-hand drive car in the US on the street, it's really hard when I drive left-hand drive car in Japan.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying? Because it just automatically I get confused.
Understood.
You get it?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, well, we did the test drive in the Skyline R32,
I told you about it, yeah.
and it was a little weird too, right? Driving. I think you said this is the first time you drove a right-hand drive car on U.S. streets.
Exactly. So actually, I think I did okay. But I'm sure if I keep driving it, and if you go like a little alley or something, I might get confused.
You started your career primarily drifting right-hand drive, and then the next car after the S13 was Reese's
Right.
team.
Yeah. So that was like the first left-hand drive car I started competing like seriously.
How was that transition from going from right-hand drive to left-hand drive in your career?
Honestly, it didn't take too long to be decent level, but like I still felt like not 100% even like after one season's over. I think I got like a 4th place overall, so did pretty good, but still something not right about it. And then I kept driving left-hand drive next few years, and I think I felt a lot more comfortable after that. So it just took me a while. I mean, like I would say 98% same as right-hand drive, but like a little thing, sometimes like you're like subconscious and have to do stuff. So
It's like instinct, right?
Right, you don't have a time to think about it. And the vision is one thing, you know, right side or left side, that's one thing. But I think main thing that I was struggle was the operating the thing, shifting and e-braking, either left hand or right hand. I'm so used to using that left hand side to do the shifting or an e-brake. So when I was driving a left hand drive in the beginning, that was my struggle.
Well, you've been lucky enough to be able to try all these different ways, right?
Yeah, actually, especially with the center drive, I've driven all kinds of cars, right? And now I feel very equal with everything. So I feel really lucky that I had a chance to drive all these cars. Yeah. So at the end of the day, it's a personal preference. Like I say, I grew up with right-hand drive, so I prefer right-hand drive. But at the end of the day, I can drive both at the same level. So, yeah.
Well, thanks for sharing, man. I've always wanted to know the differences between those, and you're the only guy I know that has actually done it.
Well, I'm sure a lot of people knows, but yeah, I don't know if it's a right answer or whatever, but that's just my take. So, but yeah, thank you so much for watching, guys, and see you on the next video.
Johnny.